It is a beautiful Saturday where we have some football, ladies and gentlemen. Before the games get started, I wanted to go through and get an updated 2024 Dynasty draft going for y'all. I apologize. Usually we do these on Monday. Just had some videos I really wanted to get out at the beginning of the week, so decided to push this until Saturday. I did send the link in the live chat right now, so anybody who wants to join this draft with us, you're more than welcome. I mean, thank you so much for being subscribed. I'm assuming that you also have that bell hit next to your subscribe button as well if you are out here this early. But yeah, I sent the link in the chat. And also, ladies and gentlemen, because we have some exciting games today, Underdog actually just dropped a special where if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, you can go and get Lamar Jackson more than less than half a total yard against the Houston Texans. Promo code FLOCK, get you a 100% deposit match plus our Dynasty Fantasy Football rankings. And if you sign up today before the game, you're going to get that Lamar special pick'em more than less than half a total yard. I'll put the link in the description as well as the comment section. And on top of that, if you're seeing this tomorrow or the next day, as long as you are new to Underdog Fantasy with code FLOCK, you're always going to get a special when you sign up. Just depends on what game is today. But I think we should be close to filling this bad boy, ladies and gentlemen. We have 2 spots left open. So please hop in here. Couple different housekeeping issues. One, this is going to be a super flex draft. I'm very sorry if you play in a 1 quarterback league. You can just pull up our 1 quarterback rankings on flockfantasy.com. 2, we are going to be using rookie picks in this draft. Obviously, they do not have rookies loaded up already. So instead, we are going to be going through and we are going to be using kickers as rookie picks. So if you wanted to go ahead and if you wanted to take the 101, aka Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., whoever you think that is, you can go ahead and you can take the first kicker off the board, and that will indicate that you have the first rookie pick. But I am going to take Mr. CJ Stroud at the 103. Head over to flockfantasy.com. You'll see that the community rankings have CJ Stroud at 3. You can pull up my rankings on flockfantasy.com. Of course, just hit the filter button, hit add expert, and then go choose who exactly you want to look at. You can pull them up and you can see that I have CJ Stroud at 3 as well. I have Joe Burrow at 4, who does go immediately after. Now, obviously, if this was a 1 quarterback format, then instead we're taking a wide receiver here. We're taking either Jefferson, Chase, or Lamb, depending on who falls. But we got Eli out here right in front of us. Let's go, my man. And yes, I did go ahead and have my brother shave my head with the dog clippers. So right now we have no hair. I want to see exactly how bald I was going. Not too bad. We got a really bad scar here from surgery I had when I was a baby, but was afraid that I was more bald than I actually was. So good news, shaving the head. We have a little more hair than I thought. But our first rookie pick off the board here at pick 10. So remember, that is the rookie pick 101. So that's either Caleb Williams, that's Marvin Harrison. I mean, if it's Marvin Harrison, you're taking it ahead of CeeDee Lamb. So that's why, I mean, I'm just sitting here going, okay, if you look at how quarterbacks and wide receivers are valued in Dynasty overall, I do believe we need to go ahead and we need to take Caleb Williams at pick 1 unless you get a great landing spot from Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, if he ends up going to Los Angeles, hell yes. If he's the Charger, he is going to be my 101, regardless of what happens with Caleb Williams. But yeah, you're seeing that even Anthony Richardson goes before CeeDee Lamb in this draft, where quarterbacks are going to be extremely hard to come by. And we have Jordan Love off the board here at the 201. So, I mean, we have Jordan Love now ahead of the 102. In my mind, this is crazy town, okay? I mean, I like Love. But to have him ahead of Lawrence, to have him ahead of the rookie pick 102, that does seem a little bit nuts. Let's go ahead and let's pull up flockfantasy.com again to get a sense of what you can maybe expect for the value of Jordan Love. I mean, hell, if you pull up the community rankings, dear God, Jordan Love's up here as a first-round starter pick. Now, if you look at the expert rankings instead, which is what I would recommend y'all look at on flockfantasy.com, you can see that Jordan Love is instead hovering around 22 in the expert rankings, which in my mind, is more appropriate for where he should be. I think Love, instead of going at the 1-2 turn, which it looks like a lot of people are on board with, I would rather have him at the 2-3 turn in terms of his price point. Okay. Packers Struggles says Lawrence will never be above Love again in his career. It does look like you may be a little bit biased on that, my friend. Maybe just a little bit biased. But let's go ahead and see Puka go at the 208. Okay, I need to pull up my rankings to figure out where we're going. Okay, there's one guy that I see that we can take. Two guys I see that we can take. The issue is Sleeper just has horrible ADP. So unless you're using... I would literally just use our community rankings. Even if you're not a paid member of flogfantasy.com, if you pull up our community rankings, you're going to be a lot better off than what we have here. So if you look at my rankings right now, I have 2 assets ranked pretty much back-to-back. Gibbs will be my next highest guy, though. We're going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs at the 210. Keep it young after taking CJ Stroud at the very beginning of round 1. And let's see what these other teams do here right in between our selections. So I personally, and y'all know I'm a massive Bijan Robinson fan, interviewed the guy at the draft. I didn't get to see Jahmyr Gibbs at the draft, but I do have Gibbs ahead of Bijan Robinson right now. Now the 103 and the 104 go off the board here back to back. Love those selections. I think the 103 was the next best asset on the board compared to Jahmyr Gibbs. The 103, you're looking at either a top-end quarterback with rushing upside, possibly Marvin Harrison Jr., depending on how drafts shake out. But yeah, you're looking at quarterbacks with rushing upside, such as Drake May, Jaden Daniels there at pick 3 and 4. If you're comparing him to the other quarterbacks that are currently on the board, such as Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson, Bryce Young, Dak Prescott, I think you'd clearly rather have the rookies there. So I think those are great selections. Now, if we were to take a rookie at this point, we would be taking the 5th rookie pick off the board. Would I rather have Chris Olave or the 5th rookie pick? I'm going to go ahead. I will take Chris Olave. I know maybe I'm a little bit too high on Chris Olave at this point, but if I'm going to go ahead and look at my rankings on flogfantasy.com or pull up the expert rankings on flogfantasy.com, you'll see that Chris Olave is right in between the 104 as well as the 105. Looks like on average, you have the expert rankings with Olave behind Dak Prescott. But keep in mind, we have Danny from the Fantasy Stock Exchange in here who's a massive Cowboys fan. Maybe that's a little bit too high on Dak. I personally have Olave ranked at 23 and Dak Prescott ranked at 28. Okay. Now, JCM says 105 over Olave for the flexibility. I wouldn't fault you at all. I think that 104, I'm definitely taking over Chris Olave. You see that in the rankings. 105, it gets a little bit iffy because if you are looking at pick 5, I understand that you're still in that top tier, right? You can still look at someone like Neighbors, but I mean, Olave was the top prospect in his own right. He's been great through the first 2 years of his NFL career. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to take Olave. I wouldn't fault you at all for wanting to take the 105 though. Yes. And I do agree. I do not like the T Higgins selection. I would definitely rather have Olave over the 105 over T Higgins. John asking how Jalen Hurts fell behind everyone. Let me go ahead and pull this up. So right now on flogfantasy.com, you'll see that still in the community rankings, you do have Jalen Hurts behind Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts, 25 years old in comparison to Lamar Jackson at 27. Typically, I'm not concerned at all about quarterbacks' ages, especially if they're that young. But I would say quarterbacks that their game primarily relies upon their athleticism and their rushing upside, maybe the age does matter just a bit more. But yeah, if you're looking at the community rankings on flogfantasy.com, you do have Jalen Hurts currently down there behind Mahomes, Allen, Stroud, Lamar, Hurts. I would rather have Hurts over Lamar. Maybe I need to think about that again, but I would rather have Burrow over both guys in Dynasty. Obviously, in redraft, give me the guys who are going to run the ball, though. Okay. Now, JCM says, what are your thoughts on Stroud? Stroud seems way overvalued for fantasy right now. Much better NFL quarterback than fantasy quarterback. I can understand the argument, right? Because CJ Stroud's not going to have the same type of rushing upside that you're going to get from from Lamar Jackson, from Jalen Hurts. If we're going to go ahead and pull up what CJ Stroud just did his rookie season, though, he put up arguably the best rookie season in NFL history. Like literally the best. The regular season, he had 23 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He was at 8.7 adjusted yards per pass attempt. Now, I agree, he's not going to have a ton of rushing upside. He's not Jalen Hurts. He's not Lamar Jackson. I mean, he can be like Joe Burrow. He had 3 rushing touchdowns and 167 rushing yards. So he's averaging over 10 rushing yards per game. So I don't know. I am completely fine going through and investing into CJ Stroud here exactly where we did. I like him at the 103. But let's move this over and get a sense of where we should be taking this next pick. And oh my gosh, thank you so much for everybody hitting that like button. It looks like, I mean, well over 10% of y'all dropped a like on the stream, which I really do appreciate. Okay, but let me pull up the expert rankings on flogfantasy.com, get a sense of where we should be going, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm assuming all these guys are off the board. Where did Tua go in this draft? Tua goes 309. Jared Goff goes here in the 4th. I'm assuming Ayuk's gone. Yes, Ayuk's gone. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we should have been on top of this a little bit more. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on rookie pick 7. Did we get our guy? Okay, yes, we're going to go ahead. We will take TJ Hawkinson here. A little bit scary. I don't like the fact that he tore up his knee at the end of the season, but still very young tight ends. Okay. Yeah, God, this ADP is just so bad. Okay, I know who we are going with next. Let me confirm with the rankings on the site real quick. Just make sure we're not about to embarrass ourselves. Okay, JSN off the board. Okay. I am probably going to take someone that's lower in the expert rankings, but higher in my rankings. I guess at this point, I am higher on him than consensus. Also, let me just confirm what rookie pick that we're on right now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rookie picks off the board. So if you were to take a rookie pick, you are taking the 107. Drake London goes 501. I almost panicked and took Drake London early. So I think 107 is 100% in play if you wanted to take that rookie pick. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to continue to stack players from this past rookie class. However, we are going to take Jordan Addison. And this can roll right into this question. Thoughts on Jackson Smith-Njigba. If you look at JSN's rookie season historically, does not have a great shot of panning out. Like I posted an article on flogfantasy.com that I would love for y'all to check out. Just go to the post and it's year 2 wide receiver range of outcomes. I think that y'all would really like this article where we go through and we map out every rookie season and use the RotoViz screener to compare it to the previous 23 years of rookies. And we can say, oh, okay, rookie seasons like this typically have this range of outcomes. Here are players that they look like. And I'll give you a sense of what we have with Jackson Smith-Njigba here, which is not too good. If we are looking at JSN, he comps to Romeo Doubs, Rashad Bateman, Robbie Anderson, Tavon Austin, Titus Young, Blair White, Johnny Knox, James Jones. So, I mean, it's not great if you're comparing what we have with Jordan Addison, who, keep in mind, is the same exact age. Jordan Addison comps to Jaden Reed, obviously in this year's class 2. We'll see him go in a second. Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Darius Slayton, Calvin Ridley, Cooper Kupp, T.Y. Hilton, and Percy Harvin based off his rookie season. So obviously, it's not like Jordan Addison's guaranteed to turn into a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy, but it is in the range of outcomes. It's also in the range of outcomes that he does still turn into a bust, but a much, much better range of outcomes than what we have with someone like Jackson Smith-Njigba, both at 21 years old. So with JSN, I don't want to just completely write him off, but at the same time, we can say that you're probably not in a spot where we should be taking him over Jordan Addison. I don't know. At least I wouldn't be. At this point, if you're pulling up my rankings, yeah, let me do that real quick. Let's go to my wide receiver rankings on the site. Flock, filter, ad expert, Mason, wide receiver. So yeah, here are my wide receiver rankings. If you're looking at how I have the rookies, obviously we have to have Puka at 1 at this point. There's no other way to go around that. We have Jordan Addison at 2. We have Rashee Rice at 3. Zay Flowers, Tank Dell. We do need to move up Tank Dell a bit. My only issue with Tank Dell is he's 24 years old. Like Tank Dell is almost the same age as T. Higgins. Then we have Jaden Reed. And where do we put JSN? Actually, we have JSN up here next to Zay Flowers. Yeah, we are going to have to move Jackson Smith-Njigba down. We have this large tier of guys. You can see tier 6 here composes of JSN through Tank Dell and including the 107 in it. I think we need to move JSN to the bottom of this tier and move Tank Dell up, even if JSN's 21 years old in comparison to Tank Dell at 24. Okay. Curtis says, Mason, I hope you're not hating on ADP this time next week. I'm working on updating them personally. Okay, my man. I am excited to see the updates. Thank you. Thank you so much for working on them. But yeah, like I said, I understand JSN was injured going into year 1, so I don't want to completely write him off, but I do want to be realistic. I'm going to be realistic. Okay, so we have Kirk Cousins off the board. Here's 605. So we are on the rookie pick 108 at this point. So if you were to take a rookie pick, you are taking pick 8. I'd probably rather have pick 8 over some of these guys like Kirk Cousins. I really like our team so far, to be completely honest with you. Kyle Pitts goes the 606. Randy says Addison over Nico in what world? I would say a world where Jordan Addison's a 21-year-old wide receiver that was a stud prospect coming in that just put up a phenomenal rookie season. So, yeah, I'm going to have Addison over Nico Collins, and I'm not going to feel too bad about it either. I mean, if you look at the community rankings on flogfantasy.com, Nico Collins is ahead of Addison. If you look at the expert rankings, they are pretty much back-to-back. Okay. So let's see where we're going to go. I think we're just going to take the 8th rookie pick, right? Just give us that flexibility. Obviously, it's hard to pencil in exactly who that's going to end up being right now. I know it does look like we are outside of that top tier guys that you'd be excited about, but let's take the 8th rookie pick, partly because I wasn't paying attention and we need to figure out who we're taking next. Okay. Kenneth Walker goes 6'11". Claw, happy to see you out here. Hope that you are doing well. We got Vincent out here as well. Happy to see you. We got everybody out here. Happy to see y'all. Now, Kenneth Walker goes 6'11". If I were to take a player, it would have been Kenneth Walker. George Pickens goes 701. Okay. Okay, we are on rookie pick 9 at this point. Is anybody on the board worth more than the... we got Trey Lance here. Okay, now we are on rookie pick 10. A little bit of a different situation. Josh Jacobs would be my favorite player I see just briefly looking at this. Quarterback, maybe Stafford. Running back, Jacobs is at the top, at least for me on this list. Actually, no, that's a lie. We're going to go ahead. We will take Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, typically, I'm not excited to go through and I'm not excited to look at these day 3 running backs that had success early but don't have a ton of team investment going into the offseason. The one saving grace with Pacheco is that it is a very weak 2024 rookie class. So I am okay going through and taking him here. In case says, if I made trades using the trade calc this week, will the values change next week when ADP is updated? Like, should I avoid using the calculator until then? So our trade calculator on flogfantasy.com is not updated based off sleeper ADP. Yeah, if you go over and pull up the trade calculator on the site, the values that you're going to be using are nothing to do with sleeper ADP. You can either use the community rankings, which are constantly updated. You can use the expert rankings, which is an accumulation of all the experts that we have on the site, Fantasy Stock Exchange, Dynasty Lands, Dynasty Domain, yours truly, or you can go through and you can select an individual creator like my own rankings that you want to use their values of. So yeah, it's not like, oh, I got to wait till next week until the sleeper ADP is updated. It has nothing to do with the sleeper ADP, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, and of course, if y'all wanted to check out any of the rankings on flogfantasy.com, if you wanted to go through and check out the Dynasty Trade Calculator, promo code FLOCK will get you 30% off any subscription, plus promo code FLOCK in the Mother Flocker tier will get yours truly to break down your Dynasty Fantasy Football team in an in-depth podcast if you are interested. You can find that link in the description. I do think I'm not going to put the link in the comment section. I'll put the link in the comment section to the Lamar Jackson special pick'em today, more than less than half a total yard on Underdog if you're somehow not already on Underdog Fantasy. But I'll send the link to, what should we send a link to right now? Flogfantasy.com is easy to remember, code FLOCK. I'll send the link to Underdog Fantasy just in case you want to check out that Lamar Jackson special pick'em, or if you want to get into any best ball drafts over the next few weeks. Now, Levis goes, honestly, I should have taken Baker Mayfield. Oh, great Baker pick. I mean, obviously, I'm a Texas Longhorn, but hard not to root for Baker Mayfield at this point. I don't know. I just like rooting for guys that escape horrible franchises such as the Cleveland Browns and go on or able to come up through the ashes somewhere else. A great Baker Mayfield selection. I'm embarrassed that I took Pacheco ahead of him. Okay, Stafford goes 802. Stafford was going to be the quarterback we would have taken if he made it back to us. Jeremy says Cook over Walker is pure lunacy. Let me go ahead and see where we got him on the site real quick. So we'll look at the expert rankings on the sites. I do like that we have the rookie picks mixed in, so you can get a sense of, oh, okay, here Christian McCaffrey's worth between the 104 and 105. So if we're looking at this, yeah, Kenneth Walker is ahead of James Cook in the expert rankings on the site and ahead of him in the community rankings as well. We took pick 8 right before Kenneth Walker. If you look at the expert rankings, pick 8 has an average of 60.33. Kenneth Walker has an average of 59, so they are back-to-back. Community rankings essentially has them back-to-back as well. So I think you can make a strong argument for Kenneth Walker. I think you can make a strong argument for the 108. I do think it's up to you. Okay. Tiger Struggle says, hey, Mason, do you plan on doing anything for year 2 motherfuckers? Yes, we have a bunch of, if y'all don't know, I mean, I spend 90% of my day working on flogfantasy.com with the developers where we are building out so many awesome tools for y'all like that trade calculator. Right now, we're working on some things to make it just a lot easier for the creators so they can keep their rankings up to date, hopefully like every day for everybody. But yeah, we're going to go through, and what I decided that we're going to do is every year, if you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy and you are an annual member, I'm going to get an exclusive piece of merch every year where it'll probably be like around the NFL draft time where we'll go through and I need to find an easier way to do it, but essentially send out, we'll make a custom hat, make a custom shirt, whatever it is for 2024. And we'll have a drop where if you're a member of the site, you just get it for free. We just need your shipping address. So we're going to be building out a ton of additional tools on the site. Like I'm sure you've seen all off season. And I think for people who use code FLOCK for FLOCK on flockfantasy.com, we're going to be getting out merch every year as well. I don't know if we're going to be selling it, probably just giving it away to the people on the site. Okay, so let's figure out what we're going to do here. Quarterback, best guy available would probably be, I don't even know, Rodgers. If we take a rookie pick, we are pick 10. And honestly, I'd rather have pick 10 over all these guys. So we're going to go ahead. We will take another rookie pick. We'll keep some flexibility here. I believe this is pick 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay, so we have rookie picks 8 and 10. I definitely rather have like the 110 over DeAndre Swift. Packer Struggle says he kind of looked like Slim Shady in a good way. Not let me know in the chat. Do you like the shaved head or don't like the shaved head? This is the first time I have ever had a shaved head. Maybe since I was like 3 years old. But I was expecting the girlfriend to hate it. And she didn't hate it. So maybe we do it. Maybe we keep it. Okay. Let's move this down. So if we were to take another rookie pick, we're taking the 111. Would I rather have the 111 or Aaron Rodgers? The 111 or Zach Charbonnet? The 111 or, I don't know. It's like David Montgomery just went off. I think I'd rather have pick 11 here, right? Like, we'll go ahead and we'll take the 111. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Just make sure I'm not losing my mind. So we take the 111 right after Brian Robinson and David Montgomery. We're looking at the expert rankings here. $111 is, yeah, right before DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard. So I feel great about it, but I do think it's the value. I think it gives us flexibility. And this is something I talk about a lot. I've been doing a lot of the podcast for new members of flockfantasy.com. Like this point of the offseason when we're in January, stacking on rookie picks, if it's like an equivalent value for a player, in my mind makes sense, right? Because if we're looking at what we have with David Montgomery versus the 111, if you were to try to trade David Montgomery in February, in March, in May, in June, it doesn't really matter when. If you were to try to trade away David Montgomery or Tony Pollard, one of those guys goes next to pick 111, you're going to need to find A, a contending team, B, a contending team that needs a running back, 3, a contending team that needs a running back that also likes Tony Pollard. So what does the trade market look like for that asset? You can maybe find 2 people in your entire league that fit all 3 of those boxes that are contending, need a running back, and like Tony Pollard. Whereas if you're sitting here with the 110, if you're sitting here with the 111, anybody will trade for it. You can go get whatever you want. Now, obviously, make an argument that the points would matter more with the veteran running back, which I'm not going to argue against. I think it is up to you, but I personally lean on the side of keeping the flexibility. The flexibility. Okay. James Conner off the board at 10:02. I'm sure y'all don't want to see the kickers that are available right now. So Evan Ingram goes 10:03. Okay, let's see if we're not missing anybody. So Jaden Reed went in the middle of the 6th here. Is Godwin off the board? Yeah, Godwin went a couple rounds ago. Amari went a couple rounds ago. I'm assuming Christian Watson's already gone. Yeah, Christian Watson went back in the 7th. Is Tajee Spears gone? Yep, Spears winning the 8th. Okay, that was the 112, I believe. So if we take a rookie pick, it's the 201. 201's gone. Yeah, that makes my decision a little bit tougher. I thought we were going to go that direction. Downs is already off the board. Can we just go 202? And keep with the flexibility unless I'm missing someone here. I have to be missing someone. Okay. I think we either take a quarterback on the way back around or there's a wide receiver that I saw. Quentin Johnson, 10-11. Kirk goes. And we go ahead and take a quarterback here. We want Russ or Carr. I think those are the two guys to be looking at. Ooh, I need to turn off auto. I didn't. Can everybody spam the chat? Would you rather have Russell Wilson or Derek Carr? I don't think we're looking at a rookie pick again. 2 more have gone off. I think Russ is pretty safe to assume he has a job. Just considering how ugly the entire landscape of the quarterback position is in the NFL currently. Okay, yeah, it looks like most people in the chat also agree Russ over Carr. That's how I have it in my rankings. That's how the expert rankings are on the site as well. But Russ and Carr are back-to-back. And they are worth a little bit less than an early second, a little bit more than a mid-second. So that's about the range. We took the 202 over them, then the 203, 204 went off the board. The 205 was the next best pick. So we did decide to pivot over to one of the quarterbacks. And yeah, it looks like Russ is both ahead of Carr in the community rankings as well as the expert rankings. And also, ladies and gentlemen, those community rankings on flogfantasy.com are completely free as well. So if you ever wanted to go out there and use them in your draft, they're free. Just pull up flogfantasy.com. You don't even need to have an account to view the community rankings. The only thing is you won't be able to pull up like my exact rankings or say Corey's at the Fantasy Stock Exchange. You're not going to be able to pull up his exact rankings. Those will be behind a paywall. But the community rankings are free for anybody who wants to access them. Okay, so Jameson Williams, Aaron Jones, both off the board here at the end of the 11th. Let's move this down. So let me recap our team so far. I actually kind of like our team. We're sitting here with Stroud and Russ at quarterback. Running back, we have Gibbs, Pacheco. Wide receiver, we have Olave, Addison. Tight end, we have Hawkinson. We have the 108s, the 110, the 111, and like the 202. So we have a lot of rookie picks that we have flexibility with. Obviously, you can sit here and make an argument, oh, you're not that strong at running back. You're not that strong at wide receiver. We have rookie picks that I think we can go through and we can play around with through the course of the offseason and really bolster exactly what we need. Okay. We have Wicks off the board, 1202. And what is interesting about the games this week or this weekend is the spreads on them are massive. Let me go ahead and pull these up. because I want to get your opinion on these. I don't necessarily go out there and I'm not betting one way or another on Texans plus 9.5. I mean, obviously these lines are extremely efficient, which is why I've never tried to go out there and tackle them. But the spreads on the games for this deep into the playoffs, they do seem larger than I remember. I mean, if you're looking at this, you have the Texans as 9.5-point dogs against the Baltimore Ravens. You have the Packers as 10-point dogs. So both games today are supposed to be blowouts. If you were to give one of these teams a shot to win, are you going to give the Texans or the Packers? Who has a better chance to win, the Texans or Packers? Obviously, they both most likely lose. But if one of them were to win, who you got? And we're going to take Derek Carr as well. I mean, Derek Carr, horrible this past year. But who knows? I mean, taking him as like a mid-second rounder here. He has a contract where he's probably a starting quarterback this next season. We have Olave as well. Okay, so we have Texans, Packers, Texans. Jackson's great work, Mason. Have a great day. Have a great day, my friend. Hope that you enjoy the games today. Rashad Bateman goes here, 12-11. Very interesting Bateman pick. Toronto says hard to pick, but I'd say Texans. I'd say Texans as well. I don't know if I'm getting back my old ways. I used to be a Houston Texans fan when I was like 10. And if y'all don't know about me, if y'all don't know about this, I am the most fair weather, horrible fan you could ever meet. Like, I haven't been a Texans fan since I was like 10 because they've been bad. Like, I could literally have cared less about them. And at the same time, I like with my Texas Longhorns, obviously I have a little bit more allegiance because I'm a former Longhorn. But I will really only root for the team if they're good. So I'm a horrible fan. I am not rooting for a bad team. I'm not rooting for a losing team. I mean, obviously you can have one bad season, but I'm not going to root for you if you lose year after year after year after year. But Texans are kind of pulling me back in here, so I will be rooting for the Texans. Let's see if there's anything worth taking a shot at in this range. Maybe Mike Williams. Actually, no. We're gonna take Romeo Doubs. We're gonna mix it up. A year 2 wide receiver that was okay. Jordan Love obviously looks great. I mean, Romeo Doubs was great this past week against the Cowboys. So let's take a shot. Okay. And also for the games today, like I said, just in case you are new, if y'all wanted to check out that Lamar Jackson special pick'em more than less than half a total yard, that will be on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code FLOCK, get you hooked up with the 100% deposit match, plus our Dynasty Fantasy Football rankings. And you can find that link in the live chat as well as the description. John says, what city part of Texas did you grow up in? San Antonio, my friend. San Antone. Okay, Singletary goes off the board, 1307. Kenny Pickett as a big-time follower here. It's very interesting is, like, obviously Kenny Pickett at this price is just a kind of assuming that he is not the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers next season. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting here at pick 20. You know, so it's like, okay, what are they going to do? Can they really go out there and get someone exciting? I have no idea. Lance goes 13-12. Sniped on it. Winston off the board. Got another mid-second going. Eli says, are the women big in San Antonio like Charles Barkley says? Obviously, I'm going against my own peeps here, but the women are bigger in San Antonio than you could ever imagine. Put it that way. I don't know if that's... I shouldn't say it, but That is the case, my friend. That is the case. Okay. More second rounders off the board. So is there anybody here with any type of value? Mac Jones, another player that's priced as if he just has no shot to be a starting quarterback going forward. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Obviously, there's a reason why he's priced as if he has no shot to be a starting quarterback. Maybe. Am I crazy to mix in Jerome Ford here? No, I'd rather take a wide receiver. We're going to take our guy. Someone that I've loved for years now. We will take Courtland Sutton at the end of the 14th round here, ladies and gentlemen. We will go ahead and we'll pull the trigger on Courtland Sutton. I guess we have taken a tight end. We took TJ Hawkinson. Cheesecake Lover says, should have gotten a low taper fade like Ninja. Let me look up. What is a low taper fade? So, oh, this looks pretty cool. I can't find Ninja with it, but Jerome Ford off the board, 1501. But yeah, just literally the same shaver that I shave my dog with, I shave my head with. And I'm going to let it grow out for maybe a couple of weeks. And then I'll go to like a real person and get a real trim up. Okay. Douglas goes 1502. Then we'll go ahead and take Mike Williams. How old is Mike Williams? Drafted 2017, but he was pretty old. Stayed 4 years at Clemson. 29 years old. Yeah, we can go ahead. We can pull the trigger. But I think that should be it, ladies and gentlemen, for this live stream. Let me go ahead and show you the board. The team next to us, about halfway, bailed. So I would not really look at any of their picks and try to get value from them. But hopefully we are able to help you out here. Obviously, the kickers are rookie picks, ladies and gentlemen. So just go down there and count how many they are. If you wanted to check out one quarterback rankings, those are all on flogfantasy.com. I'm sorry that we don't do too many one quarterback drafts. Just easy. Just move the quarterbacks down the board and not really too much else to it. But yeah, if you wanted to go out there and check out any of our rankings, get your team broken down by yours truly with a Dynasty Fantasy Football podcast. You can find all that on flogfantasy.com. Code FLOG, get you 30% off any subscription. Plus, yours truly breaking down your team with the podcast. I think that's all I have for you. Really do appreciate you. I really hope that you have fun watching the games today, and hope I get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow morning.